Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pit Talk, pulling pits and opinions with your host, Gunnery G, where service members help service members, period, past or present. Follow, like, subscribe everywhere you get your podcasts and on all social media platforms. Let us know how we're doing. Any criticism is good criticism. I'll tell you what, I'll be honest. Nobody's told me anything bad, so I think I'm doing everything good. But before we get started, thanks for those that have followed. Thanks for those that like and subscribe. And thanks for the ones that find it in their heart to graciously donate to the cause. Hey, I'm all for it. My family's blessed because of it, and so am I. I hope that this continues to go forward, move forward as a hobby and mental health for all service members alike. We got a special guest. I'll let him introduce himself, but I'm in the presence of greatness, one of the greatest content creators on Instagram. Give him a shout out. We got Gunnery Sergeant in the Marine Corps. Go ahead and introduce yourself, though.
What's going on, everybody? It's Gunnery Sergeant Parham, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me, and I hope I can answer any questions and provide you with all insight for recruiting duty in 2024.
Well, look, I'll tell you what. Before we get started, I mean, you're going to give your basic info here, but
Okay.
at the very last of your basic info, just let us know why you're crazy enough to do 8412 right here in a second. Basic info, billets, how long you been in, where you served at, and why in your right mind would you go 8412, honestly?
All right, cool. So I've been there for 13 years. I'm an avionicsman. I work on Hueys and Cobras. I'm stationed at Camp Pendleton for about 11 years. I've been on recruiting duty for two years. I'm in my third year now. I've been in staffing OSC for the 31st MEU. I've been on the 15th MEU, and then I've done a UDP. So I've been around the world for about 3 times, and it's been fun. I did 3 years at the schoolhouse, so I was an instructor there from 2016 to 2019, and after that, I went on 2 deployments. Right now, I'm currently stationed in Sacramento, California, where I'm the station commander for RSS South Sacramento.
It sounds like you're doing big things, though. Big things on social media, big things at the RS. My goodness gracious, I'll tell you what. I appreciate you giving some time for this little guy here on Instagram. I appreciate that, man. But you forgot one tidbit. The 8412
Okay,
piece.
the 8412 piece. So I have not made my decision on if I'm going to become a career recruiter, just because of logistics, pretty much. I own a home in San Diego. My MOS is down there. I came out here. It's been a grind. It's been a grind. There's a lot of wear and tear. Recruiting duty was not what I expected it to be, and that's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. But I still got a lot of time before I make that decision. So I have not made my decision yet on if I'm going to be an 8412, or if I'm going to if they would even accept me to be an 8412.
I mean, your stuff's good, and I mean, you're a station commander. Why wouldn't they? That doesn't make any. Isn't that a prerequisite?
Yeah, it's definitely a check in the box. My thing on recruiting is if you're committed and you're doing the best you can every single day for 3 years, a lot of people can get burnt out. You know what I mean? So there's a lot that goes into this. A lot of training and mentoring with the Marines that you work with. And then the thing that people don't take account for is the training and mentoring that goes into the poolies that you have, because they're not under the DOD. They're not getting paid. So they don't have to do what you tell them to do. And every now and then, sometimes that can take a lot of wear and tear or time away from your life, because you find yourself raising other people's kids and trying to put them in the right direction, because there's no other choice. They have nobody else. So this is something that I have to consider long term, to make sure that it sets up not only myself for success, but everybody else that's under me.
We're going to pause right there at 4:33. Can you do me a favor?
Mhm.
Can you slouch a little bit
Like
so I
more?
can get so I can get the dome piece? Yeah, there we go. The whole, and not the dome piece. I'm just saying your whole head. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
I'm sorry, I'm a drill instructor, so I got some bad
I
lingos, some bad
got
habits.
you. I got you. It's all good.
Perfect. All right, here we go. 4:30, 4:55. We're good. So,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't accept you anyways, but I hope you make the right choice for you and your family and for the close ones around you. So,
Right.
I think either way you choose, you're an asset to the Marine Corps anyways. I'm just saying.
Appreciate that. I'm trying my best.
So let's get right into it, man. Meat potatoes. Look, recruiting duty, good, bad, the ugly. I think that Marines want you to be transparent. And I think we should compare ourselves to other service branches and see how we're doing. And then, professional rant. I think that Either we're humble about it or we need to do some correction and some rudder steers, so to speak. I'm gonna hit it right off the bat. Look, hey, what's the biggest takeaway on recruiting due to that when Marines come in, or obviously from Marines, we can speak Marines, that join the field on the streets of recruiting, what's the biggest takeaway they're gonna get after the end of the tour if they're successful?
Okay, so that's actually a very easy question. Initiative. If you have a successful tour on recruiting duty, you have developed some sort of initiative. And that's something that a lot of Marines don't come out here with, because you got to think we come from different MOSs. So there's some MOSs where the work comes right in front of you. You do the work, send it off, right? But then there are other MOSs where you actually go out and you have to troubleshoot. I'm gonna use avionics terms, and you have to go find the problem, fix the problem, and then bring it back and certify it. So one thing about recruiting duty is that you're constantly on a hunt. You're constantly looking and finding something. You're never ahead. The biggest misconception is that we're ahead, we're safe. I have a constant state of paranoia of how ahead I am, because you may be ahead, but somebody else might not be. And guess who they're going to come to cover that guy? They're going to come to you. I've been in positions where people have had to cover for me before, right? And in very small, few instances, people had to cover for me, right? But it happens. So in order to stay ahead, or at least give up the perception, you have to have initiative. So a lot of people that come back from successful tours on recruiting duty, their communication skills are better. Their scheduling, their time management is better, because those are things that are essential in order to make you a productive, successful recruiter.
That's you know, I wasn't looking for the 14 leadership traits, but that works. I'll tell you what. But
Okay.
that round is done, Rage. You can't go back. Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, but I gotta ask though. So that's a pro. I mean, that's a pro. Yeah, that's a trait that it's tangible, intangible. You can always build upon it. So that's good stuff, man. I'll tell you what though. We complain about the product, when they come through the pipeline, student pipeline, they're too comfortable, whatever. You can blame a lot of people, point the fingers, but let me ask you this. As a recruiter, I got to ask, we're throwing a lot of money out in terms of dudes that have prior, a contract under their belt to go to recruiting duty just to be a recruiter. Do you think, this is a, professional opinion. I think that the more money we throw the bat, the more the possibility that the recruiter is maybe not all in. And that's the type of product you're going to get on the streets. And therefore, that's the type of recruit / pulley that you're going to get. Is that a fair assessment, or tell me I'm wrong?
I don't think so. So if you're talking about, are you talking about bonuses?
Yep. Come out as a recruiter.
So this is the thing with bonuses, right? If somebody volunteers to go on recruiting duty, which is one of the most feared jobs in the Marine Corps, right? Because you're out there, you're alone and afraid, you don't have resources like everybody else. We have to drive 45 minutes just to get to a hospital, the Air Force base, right? And a lot of people aren't used to that, right? A lot of people don't have that. They join the 18, they don't know what it's like to be outside in the real world. So bringing it back to what we're saying is the product of how I feel is the product of the recruit that goes through recruit training. Once we get them there, it's on the drill instructors. It's on the drill instructors.
You're throwing shade. I think you're throwing shade, professional shade.
No, I'm not. I've been saying. Go ahead.
Time out. Okay. So you send them on their way, and there's nothing. What's that cell? The cell behind the cell, or what is it called?
Service behind the cell, service after the cell.
Service after the cell. Mm-hmm. So you don't think that you play a factor on the type of individual that goes to recruit training?
Absolutely, yes. But there's only so much we can do within a certain amount of time. So if I get a kid that enlists Monday, right, 2 days from now, and then I shift them next Monday because they got a specific job they want, they're ready to go, I only have so much time with them. Remember, we're not paying these kids to show up to PTs and get slayed with Marines and work out. We're not paying them. So if the recruiter's influence, or if the recruiter doesn't take on the role of a mentor, and sometimes it takes time. You work with Marines and they just take a lot of time in order for you to get through to them. We don't have that luxury. Drill instructors, y'all got 13 weeks. And if they're not good enough, I got a call from a drill instructor today about one of my kids because he just was not getting it. He wakes up, But his belt buckle is undone, his shoes are undone. He's like, yo, this kid, he's just not getting it. He's not a bad kid. And it's the worst thing. He's like, he's not a bad kid. And I was like, look, man, I'm gonna tell you straight up, that kid has nothing to come home to. Whatever you gotta do to make sure he graduates as a Marine, like he's a good kid, he's a smart kid, but these kids, they don't have any hope. And it doesn't even start with recruiters. It starts with where they're from. I'm recruiting from an area where kids can't pass the ASVAB, where all these kids are on prescription drugs, where some of the parents aren't really caring about their future. And I only have so much time with them before I can implement myself or my qualities on them enough for them to take it to boot camp. And then somebody else picks up the baton and takes it and finishes the race. So, I mean, it's the reality of it. We got to stop. We got to get away from this, like, it's your fault. It's my fault. It's my fault he smoked. I was in the house with him smoking. It's my fault he got a DUI. Like that old Marine Corps mentality of like, your Marine got a DUI this weekend. Really? Ask me where I was at. I was at home watching football, minding my business. Oh, well, it's your leadership. It's my leadership. You know what I mean? So I keep it real. We got to get away from that because it's not the reality. People have to want it. People have to want it. And sometimes people don't want it. So it's not on the recruiter 100%. It's not on the drill instructor 100%. But at the same time, what does that person want and how bad do they want it? So we do the best that we can to find the people that are really bought in. But a bonus or not, I tell all Marines to volunteer. Volunteer now. Get them before they get you. Get your bonus. Go out there. Don't let them choose for you, because then you get cornered to the point where now you can't reenlist. You know what I mean? Or now your career, you're gonna get slowed down because you denied orders. So you might as well just get it out the way. And SDAs do make you better. They do make you better, because I'm telling you right now, my management skills have skyrocketed from me being able to come out here on recruiting duty and do the things that me and my guys have accomplished. And theirs have too.
That's good. Look, I'll tell you what, man, you got passionate there in a second. You keep that energy, dog. Keep that energy. Look, well, I mean, that touches that piece. Hey, here's what I'll ask. Here's what I'll say. You talk about the recruit and the benefit tags, right? I'm going to go back again. I have this conversation with a lot of them, and they want to like go around. I want you to be honest with me as much as possible. And if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I'm on the outside looking in. These benefit tags, there's a lot of me type of benefit tags. Do you want fun and adventure? Yes, I want fun and adventure. Do I want money? I want money. Do I want school? I want school. And that is what I'm talking about, the product. Are they thoroughly indoctrinated to loving core and country? No, probably not yet. That's what we're here for as a drill instructor. But I have to ask, we have a lot of benefit tags. Should we have a lot of more selfless service, always faithful type of, group encompassing type of benefit tags, vice just the I?
I love that question. I'm going to tell you like this. The first two Marines you meet as an applicant are two completely different people. You meet a recruiter, and then you meet a drill instructor. Two completely different people. When it comes to the benefit tags, you got to remember you're working in sales. You're working in sales, right? People want to know how the Marine Corps is going to make them better. So when I pull these benefit tags out and I show you, I need to customize your interview to you. So what do you want? They pick their tags, the ones that they want, and then we show them how the Marine Corps is going to get it for them. So you can't really sell, servitude and God Country Corps. That stuff that's in you or is not. And by the time you go through boot camp, all that motivation and the grind, like, you got to think about it. Think about everything that recruits go through. You shower together, you eat together, you train together. Everybody's farts smell the same because we're eating the same food. You know what I mean? Like, turn on the vacuum. Everybody's doing the same thing. And that's where you start to build that. Like I said, out here, it's different. So the benefit tags are designed for us to be able to customize what their values are and what they want out of the Marine Corps. So no, I don't think the benefit tags should be changed like that. I think they need to stay how they are, because it also allows you to tailor your interview or your appointment to that person. Because if somebody tells you, I'm financially struggling, now I have a talking point. If somebody tells you, education is really important to me, I want to join the Marine Corps, but I really want to get it. I want to go to college. You can say, hold on, big dog, check it out. Active service members do not pay a cent for school. You know what I mean? So that's what the benefit tags are for. And that's what they do. That's their purpose.
I like that. I appreciate that counter. So you just tell me I'm wrong. Just tell me I'm wrong, dog. You know what I'm saying, Joe? Keep it real, 100 with me.
Nobody's, you're not wrong. It's just sometimes you got to explain stuff, right, and why it's like that, right? So I mean, maybe that's leftover schoolhouse because we're not supposed to tell kids they're wrong. Say, hey, that's a good idea, but let's look at it like this. But yeah, you're wrong. You're wrong. There you go. Yeah, you're wrong.
Hey, look, I'll tell you what, man, you're doing the Lord's work out there on the streets, but I gotta, there's some things I gotta ask.
Okay.
And drone, so you reference drone instructor duty. We're talking about SDA here, and my SDA was drone instructor duty, and nobody prepared me for what I was getting myself into. Nobody. Right. Whether it was through DI school, and then we did the, on the job training for that 1 week. And that was like, okay, that was nerve wracking. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Right. And I understand the idea of not giving them all the information so they're on their toes, so to speak. So they understand the training cycle, right? Because if I give them all the hidden movements, then what are they going to want to do? They're not going to want to work. They're going to want to go to the hidden movements. And I get that piece of leaving that piece out. But sometimes we got to give them something, give them a bone so that they can, give a dog a bone and get all excited, right?
Mhm.
And that's the same thing I'm going to ask on recruiting duty. Is it the same expectation across the board? I get you're saying that it's probably not, but what type of information can you give a recruiter? Because I don't think they're prepared enough to get on the streets.
Are you talking about like information to give a new recruiter fresh out of the schoolhouse, or okay?
Yep.
We put out a couple of videos about that. I think the hardest transition for recruiters or for new recruiters is realizing that they're around civilians. How we talk on base, even myself, I'm guilty of it. How we talk on base, how we talk around other Marines, we can't do that. Civilians can't handle that. They don't have that kind of humor or understanding, like, oh, he didn't mean it or anything like that. It's almost dialing back and adding that civilian professionalism. So when they get out here, saying things like tracking or going to the head and stuff like that, like they don't know what that is. And they look at you like, and that's where people get that stigma that Marines are robots. And I say, kids will joke about it all the time. And then they're almost impressed when you talk to them like regular people. You know what I mean? That's what's gotten me far. Like, I don't do the whole robotic, like, I'm like, yo, what's up, man? What are you doing today? Like, y'all trying to join the Marine Corps or what? I'm like, I'm not even playing. I'm not even playing. I come to classroom like, man, what you about to do when you graduate? You might as well join the Marine Corps. That plan. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be normal. you gotta be normal. Don't come out here being all robotic. Like, if you look good in uniform, you know what I mean? I did a class a couple months ago, and there are 5 senses, right? If you conquer 3 of the 5 senses, it will boost your attractiveness, right? So real quick, so you got sight, you got hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Well, you can't taste and touch any civilians because you're gonna go to jail if you do any. If you bite people or you touch them, you're going to jail. That's assault, right? So if you got a recruiter, right, that smells good, that can speak fluidly, and that looks nice and neat in uniform, you got something you can work with. Like 80% of the battle is done. You know what I mean? Because kids are gonna want to be like that. Like, I want to be like that dude. He always has a fresh haircut. When he walks by me in the hallway, his cologne smells good. And then when he speaks, I know who's talking, right? So if they can just master those 3 things, it will boost recruiters' confidence and it will obviously bring people more to them, right? I see recruiters from other branches. I've seen Marine recruiters this sloppy. Like, just, what are you doing? Why you look like that? You know what I mean? What are you selling? And it's crazy. It's really bad. I love it when it's other branches because it just makes it easy for me. You know what I mean? All right, cool. Hey, you want to look like him? Okay. You know what I mean? But when I see my own doing it, that's when I get irritated. Like, hey, come here. Go get a car. Go home and take a bath. And that's happened. You just gotta. They gotta take care of themselves. They gotta figure out where they're gonna live. A lot of them come from the barracks, so they've never had BH before. They don't know how to apply for an apartment. They don't know they gotta ship their car or drive their car if they're coming from like Okinawa or something crazy. They gotta move their family. It's a huge culture shock when they do get out here. So that's one of the things that a lot of them struggle with. That I feel I've talked to a couple of my homeboys down there at BRC. It's like, can we like implement like a day for them to look up like apartments or for them to get like help with traveling? And they've done certain things. BRC is moving in the right direction with that, but some of them need more help than others because they've never been exposed to it. So they just gotta they gotta have their own confidence and they gotta be responsible adults because people don't realize how much they get babied in the Marine Corps. until they're out here in the streets and they realize, oh man, I got to pay a light bill. Yeah, your lights got cut off because you didn't pay that bill on time. So that's the reality that they got to face when they come out here.
This is obviously too many variables, then, huh?
It's a lot. It's being an adult. It's being an adult. It's hard out here, bro. Let me back in the fleet, please. Please let me back in.
Oh my goodness, man! I'll tell you what. Any SDA amplifies situations or things in your life that are not necessarily good. And I gotta ask, the ones with family, right? The ones with spouses, wives or husbands alike, if they don't go into it with struggles, they're going through it with struggles, and they come out with struggles and potentially divorce. And I hope that that's not the case. I hope and pray that's not the case. But what can we do for service members that go with spouses to better educate them and the spouse in terms of the recruiting duty, being on the streets, what they're getting themselves into? You think that BRC maybe should implement a day for spouses if it's able to, if it, the schedule is willing and able, things like that? Maybe do a video conference. I don't know,
So,
because families are not really in the service, but they're in the service.
So each RS, MCCS has a program where they'll actually like fly the spouses out there and give them classes. But like they have something where they fly them out there that like, hey, look, this is what your husband or your wife is going to be going through in recruiting duty. They give them the whole thing. Right? But Marines being Marines, so sometimes we think we got in the bag and we don't want to expose our family to all that stuff. What I try to do personally is whenever I've had a few times where I've had recruiters rotator come in or whatever, I'll have them bring in their spouse. And then I'll talk to their spouse and I'm like, listen, the things your husband is about to experience on his duty is going to be like never before. He's going to get told no 1,000 times a day. The last thing that he's going to want is to come home and argue about, petty stuff or whatever. So if you have things that you need from your husband or your spouse, try to be patient with them because they're going through something. They're about to go through something, and it's not for everybody. They tell you in BRC, you want to leave with the 3 R's: the rank, the ribbon, and the ring. All right? I'm already down to 2, me personally. All right, I'll put it like that. Yeah. Hey, you want to need it? I'm already down to 2. And, you talk about coming in with problems or problems generating. It's stuff from a long time ago. So recruiting duty is going to amplify your problems. If anything, it's SDAs, because now you're not available and you don't have the same amount of access that you used to. And you took those 96s, those 72s, those days off, those federal holidays. You took them off for granted when you're in the fleet. But when you're out here, now you're working. Working in sales, you don't really get time off like that. You know what I mean? What happens is with the families, they have an adjustment period too. They have to go through the oh my God, I haven't seen dad in 3-4 days. Or dad may take me to school, but I know dad's not going to be home until 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. Because when you're trying to learn this job, right, there's a lot of things that you have to know. There's a lot of things, a lot of checking the box, a lot of admin. If your admin's trash, you're going to struggle. That's me. My admin's terrible. The point is, there are things that you're going to go through, and it's not just going to be you, but it's going to be your family. And if they aren't briefed on it, then that's when families tend to struggle. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. There's a lot of people that struggle with that. There's a lot of people that don't get the help that they need with that. It's 100% going to be up to them, and they're going to have to use the resources and be able to talk to people that actually are there, that are going to help them.
Yeah, that's I get that, man. That's the 3 R's, man. It's unfortunate. You got 2 out of 3, but here's your experience and your experience can help somebody else. Let me ask you this, if you're willing. What could you have done? But past the past, you can't get it back, and we're in the present, and we can only move forward, even though that tomorrow's not promised. I got to ask, what could you have done differently for your significant other on that duty?
I had issues before the duty, and nobody's perfect. I'll put it like this: unless I would have done every single thing that was expected and asked of me, what else? If you have a spouse that pays the bills, takes the kids to school, picks the kids up, cooks on the weekends, takes the kids out, like, sometimes you can't win. My situation is a little bit different. It's not like I messed it up like that. Like, yeah, I'm a man. Sometimes I don't want to talk about emotions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to see me cry. You're not going to see me. I'm not going to be the first one to express myself and like, oh, this is happening to me. No, I'm going to sit there. I'm going to be quiet. And then I'm a woosah and get up and go to work again and again and again. But after a while, like, it's only so much you can do to tell somebody like I need to get through this. And if they don't get it, that's on them. I would love to go in depth on this. I would love to, but that's a long story. That is a long story. It's a long
Oh
story.
man. Like
It's a long story.
I'll tell you what, one of my experiences is sometimes when I talk to other men, and again, this is only men because we're men. So if you're listening, you're a female, obviously you can't relate to this part, but I think that when I talking to the other service members that are men, the moment they do try to express themselves and they get shut down, they don't do it ever again. And here's what I'll tell you, man. It's unfortunate. I don't know if that's the case with you, and I'm gonna say, I don't know you, and I don't know you like that, and I hope that's not what it was.
I tell you like this. I got cheated on and I caught her.
Oh
While
boy.
I was working.
Oh,
You want? Hey, here you go. Hey,
no, I mean,
hey, look.
you said I was just asking. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, you want to know?
the
Hey,
man,
look. They got Tom Brady. All right, so they got Tom Brady. They can definitely get me. Okay.
boy,
Look at Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? I ain't nothing. Yeah, there it
that's
is.
true.
So
That's facts. Oh
I just
boy.
asked. I was like, look, if you ever gonna do that to your man, just make sure he doesn't find out. That's hard to come back from. So yeah, that happened, and that ruined everything. Like especially for me, because I consider myself a man's man. So like, pause, no diddy, but like it's just certain things as a man you can't accept. So I would never be able to come back from that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yep.
That's fair. Well, I think we should just end it there then. I don't know if we can continue.
So
That was a lot. You just threw a lot at me, man. That was like a piece of,
I didn't know if
okay.
you were trying to take it in that direction. Like,
No, man, I was just saying, just in general. I was just saying in general, when you get shut down, then you're like, no, that's not it. Here it is. I'm a little hurt. I'm hot. Is it hot in here? I don't think that's the podcast.
I'm great. This nothing to me.
I don't know if we were going to talk about cheating and, infidelity. I wasn't ready for that.
Hey.
And you got the red cup. My goodness, maybe I should have brought that up.
It's cranberry
with
juice.
What? Cranberry juice with what?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh.
It is like 7 o'clock. I'm absolutely nothing.
I don't know if you're still dealing with it. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm good. I'm good, bro.
Okay. Red cup.
Good.
Got it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just a red cup with juice. Usage. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's get back to it. Joe, man, I got to tell you what, again, I got to appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk about recruiting V. But I got to ask, man, how, I talk to my kids. I'm like, hey, well, who's the first president? Or, how many Bill of Rights do we have? What's the Declaration of Independence? Trick question, right? When there's a lot, government, the branches of government type of questions, right? Just some basic stuff that we probably should know as the American populace. I got to ask, how many of those kids struggle with it, just that basic knowledge?
All of them. They don't know anything. I asked the kid what the capital of Canada was, and he said Mexico. I don't know how I got taken down, but I used to do trivia. There's some trivia left, but I used to do trivia on things that you should know. And some of the questions are hard. I didn't even know them, but I was like, they're kids. They should know these, right? I already made it out of high school. And a lot of them don't know. They don't know basic stuff. Their vocabulary is limited. They have 6th grade reading levels, and they're graduating high school. These are future doctors and lawyers. So, and business owners. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur now because they think it's easy like that. So, yeah, it's pretty rough out there. You got some good kids, but the GPA, the weight that a GPA holds in 2024. And the weight it held back in 2007, they're not the same. Because I graduated with a 2.1 and I scored a 70 on the ASVAB. I've got kids that have a 4.7 and they're getting 25s. And it's like, it's a 10th grade level test. What are you doing? So that's the future. Good job.
Boy, I don't know, man. I'm going to point the finger at the public education, the big old three-letter federal agency, public education. I'm going to blame that because, that's their job, is to teach, the four core, what is it? Little thingies of history, science, math, and reading.
So a lot of the teachers are getting their hands tied. Kids don't have to show up. They get forced to graduate them. I had a video that hit like 1.2 million views on the reels on my page. I pinned it to the top if you get bored and want to look at it. but it was pretty much talking about how the education system is pushing kids through just to get them out. And the thing is, these kids get excited when they get accepted to these big colleges because they have these GPAs that are fluffed. And then the colleges are going to accept you because they want you to take out that student loan. So you take out that student loan, and then you realize, oh my God, like I can't cheat anymore. I can't use a calculator. I can't use Chat GPT. Like you guys are checking for plagiarism. And then they get exposed and they drop out and they're stuck in a whole bunch of student loan debt. So it's a big thing going on. I took a lot of heat for that video because some people were like, is this the message that the Marine Corps wants to send out? And I was like, look, man, I'm just telling y'all what I see. You keep asking me why my kids keep failing the ASVAB, and I'm telling you why they keep failing the ASVAB.
Boy, that's sad. I hope that's not my kids. But, I think as the more I have conversations with them, they're both teenagers, 16 and 13. I'm a little nervous. Because my daughter right now has a 3.5 and an honor roll student for a freshman year of high school, and that's great.
Yeah.
And I tell her, look, to me, your GPA tells me a lot. It tells me that you're working and that you're doing the work outside of your class to make sure that grade is important. Grade is good. That tells me something. Work ethic. Whether you retain or not, you're working, and I appreciate that. But again, that's, with a grain of salt. On the flip side, it could just be, just what you said. Yeah, just move it along.
Well, my experience on that is based on this area because where I'm at, they're pretty bad. They're pretty bad. Like their number one choice is to go to community college. Like they have no aspiration to do anything else. Like not even go to a 4-year school. So it's different. You're down in San Diego, right?
No, I'm in Washington State.
Oh, you're in Washington State. Oh, okay. You did say okay. So I don't know how the education system is there. So I'm talking about California right now. California, we are getting slaughtered.
Oh
it
boy.
hurts. It hurts. You should see how I look at these kids when they feel the ASVAB. I'm like, what's wrong with you? You can't read? It's bad. You can't read. I asked the kid the other day, I said, what's 4 times 8?
Oh, no.
They said 37. And I said, let me, you know what? I made a whole meme about it. I was like, there's not one odd number. If there's anything you take from math, there's not even an odd number in that equation. How did you get 37? What's a kid took the practice test. I was like, how do you think you did on the test, man? He said it was pretty challenging. I said, what'd you say? He said the test was pretty challenging. And I'm like, you mean challenging? He was like, oh yeah, challenging. And listen, I sent him the maps because he was authorized. They didn't have anything wrong with him medically. I said, hey, we're gonna send him. We're gonna see how he do. He passed the practice test. He scored a 5. I was like, you know what? Tell him that his mom need to pick him up because I can't waste no more energy. And then I sent my recruiter to go get him. But I was just like, challenging. Like, yeah. Yes.
Yo.
True story.
I think you know what? I don't think I'll be a good recruiter.
Nah, you already went to the drill field. You'll go crazy.
Based off that information alone, if that is the general pop, I will not be a good recruiter. I'm gonna make fun of you.
Give your kids the ASVAB. If you want to know, because at least if they take the ASVAB, they'll know what they're good at. If you want to know if a kid is legit, give them the ASVAB because there's some kids that don't do their work in school, that hate school, that score really high. So it's weird. But if you want to know if somebody's like solid, like I can work with this, give them the ASVAB. Give them the ASVAB. That's it. It's a 10th grade level test, and I have people with degrees that have failed it. Yes. College is a scam. There's a lot of stuff about college is a scam. My bad. I mean, I
don't know about college. I think of that too, but I think more at the K 9 through 12th 9 through 12th grade. That's where. No.
Let me rephrase it. College is scamming about 70% of these kids because they know they have no business being there and taking out those loans. Is that better? Is that a better statement?
Okay. Yes. Wow.
Because they're going to chop up everything that we say, and then people want to argue when you post this, it happens all the time. College is scamming 75% of these kids that go. That's it.
There's a lot of. You seem disgruntled.
Okay, I'm not. Why are you trying to provoke me? Why are you trying to set me up?
I'm not provoking. I'm just you seem disgruntled because the product that you're getting is like, whoa, man, like just go back. Go do it again and then come talk to me.
I'm not disgruntled. I'm just mad at how I'm aggravated at how America views service members because they all think that we're done. They all think that the military is a last resort. You know what I mean? And then they come in here and score 12, and now we all looking at each other like, what happened? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm getting to. Like you
Oh
think I'm
boy.
dumb? I work on multi-million-dollar aircraft. Like, and I'm sitting in this office with you trying to help you read and learn your multiplication table. You know
Wow.
what I mean? So like that's what frustrates me because we make more money than parents, and then they come in here talking to my. I'm tired. I'm tired. So that's what I'm saying. That's it. I'll leave
Well,
it at that.
Joe, take it easy, Joe. I'm saying I'm just having a conversation with my friend and fellow service member. I feel you. It's hot, dude. Is the AC on in here? My
I
goodness.
don't know if you're being serious.
Ooh, maybe my facial gestures should be a little bit better, but it's hot. I'm telling you, it's hot. I'm gonna get a lot of hate and discontent on this one, but I like it. I like
From
it.
who?
I don't know, just people that listen, because not everybody's
Civilians?
service. Not I get civilians that listen to my stuff too.
Hey, look, if you're a civilian and this offends you, shut up, all right? Because you need to come out here and teach these kids. Hey, everybody that got a problem with anything I say, come out on recruiting duty for a month. Come to my office and come work for me. You know what I mean? Come sit here and listen. I don't have. That's why I could be at 8412. I hope that answers your question.
There
I hope
it
that
is.
answers your question.
I hope I see you back on the fleet, dog. I hope I see you back. We got to get
I'm
this
trying.
live.
I'm trying.
Oh my goodness. How long you got left?
So I have about 9 months left,
Oh,
but I'm probably gonna extend until my divorce finishes. So I may extend for a year to stay out here. We'll see. There's a lot of factors, right? Like, if I get pissed off, if it starts going in the direction I don't want it to go, like ejectocito, cuz let me get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, hey, look, y'all got it. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of personal things that are keeping me here. I've made a lot of good relationships with families. I wrote a kid my first year here, and we just wrote his brother 2 years later. You know what I mean? So I'm real close with a couple of families, and like the good side of where I'm at. But me personally, with everything that I've been through and everything that I've sacrificed and all the time that I've given on recruiting duty, I'm tired. I am tired. I'm exhausted. There's a lot that goes into this that we don't get credit for, that we don't get acknowledgement for, that we don't get that. And my command does a really good job of supporting me. But overall, like I want to live. You know what I mean? I don't want to have a heart attack, die from heart failure one day, like because of stress and high cholesterol. Like, man, I need to go sit down. Shoot. So that's where I'm at.
boy.
That's where
Look,
I'm at
man.
with that.
Dang, Joe. If you're listening, you're trying to go on recruiting duty, don't.
Nah, come on here and get you some.
You just freaking you scared
Hey,
half of the listeners right now.
hey
What
man,
the?
come out here and get you some. Yeah, I'm different. I am a different person. All right, come out here, get you some. As soon as you get your orders, buy a house, live there for 3 years. So when you don't return to duty, you can rent it out and own property in another state. Like, do things the right way. These are classes that they need to get in VRC. Hey, I need to start looking at this, talk to your command, be like, hey, are you sure you're gonna leave me here? Because I'm gonna buy a house. Yes, we're gonna leave you there, buy a house, work hard, refuse to fail. Like, that's my thing. When you get used to performing at a high level for so long, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Eventually your body breaks down. You can't take it anymore because it becomes a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I've had a conversation with another one of my fellow friends who's at 8412, and I'm talking to him, and he's like, bro, man, the thing about me and you is just we come too far to lose. And I'm like, yes, but I don't want that stress no more. I'm tired. You know what I mean? You ever seen Forrest Gump?
Yep.
Remember he was running, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
all those people were following him, and he got to there. He's like, all right, I'm tired now. I'm gonna go home. That's how I feel. I feel like Forrest Gump. I think I'm gonna go home now. Like, I'm tired, man. So that's where I'm at.
That's crazy. There's a lot going on there, man. I hope it all works itself out, because we need you back on the fleet. There's no way that you're not an asset to the fleet and recruiting duty. But I gotta ask. Do you plan on rolling over that content creation to when you get to the fleet, or what?
Okay, so this is my thing, right? People ask me about that all the time. So my personality, the way that I am, I've always been that way. I've literally always been. I've always been witty. I've always been, outspoken since I was a lance corporal. You know what I mean? Like it's like, hey, this isn't right. We should do this. Hey, this is messed up. Hey, we're making double work for ourselves. Like I've always been like that. So when it comes to like creating content, like I'm very simple. I'll drop a meme here and there. I'll get some cinematic shot, post a motivational quote. But if I were to go back to the fleet, I would probably dig more in depth in like showing people what the Marine Corps has done for them. Like I'm always going to be pro Marine Corps. I'm always going to promote the Marine Corps. This is my team. Why the hell would I tell you something about the Army, Navy, Air Force? I don't know them like that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is us. So like when I do get back to the fleet, I'm gonna find all my little minions that I put in and do a check-in. Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on? Hey, Gunny, what's up? Yeah, let's go. Let's go to the chow hall. Let's go something to eat. Like when I do travel down there, I usually try to stop in and see them when I get down there. So I always stop and say what's up um, to the best I can, like because you know everything's busy. Last time I was down, I was for retirement, so I got to see like 3 of them. But I I'm still gonna be me. Like nothing's gonna change about me at all. I'm still like this. So as far as creating content, before I even came on recruiting duty, I have a whole YouTube channel. I used to game on there. I used to come home from work off night crew and play video games and then talk to people online. Like, so I've always been out, but recruiting duty just took off because um, it was so relatable, right? Because I play one specific video game. You only, interacting with that community. But I think one of the reasons why a lot of my stuff will take off is because there's some recruiters sitting all the way in VF in Alaska, like, dang, and then they see something that I put up, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's funny! Hey, that just happened to me!" Right? So then they take that and then they put it up there, which is cool. I don't have a problem with it. Now, some of the stuff y'all be spreading too far, and then district gets it, and I get in trouble, right? But like, this is stuff that's really happening to us. These whatever, if you see a skit or if you see a story or if you see a meme, that's really something that happened because sometimes people be talking and they say something crazy, and I'd be like, "Hold on one second, let me write that down real quick," and then I can come back and content, right? So
Oh yeah,
it's that simple for me. What I thought about, what I really thought about, because we got the leash on us, but I have enough material to become a stand-up comedian because the stuff that happens to me on recruiting duty is hilarious. It's the funniest stuff I ever seen in my life. Like
nice.
you'll see the car, you'll be like, how did that happen? You can tell a story and it's hilarious. Yeah, I'll probably still be out there to y'all. It'll be content, but to me, it's just stuff. It's just my life. Like people think my life is funny. Sure.
Wow, man. Well, I hope that you dabble in comedic relief every once in a while. At least when you leave, after you leave recruiting, because you already know people be looking at you from the top for some odd reason. They care about what you're doing down at your level, like they're pushing in pulleys to the
I'm trying to
MEPS.
make I'm trying to make their mission. And they hating on me, making my life harder. Okay.
Mm,
All right.
mm. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to touch on that very vaguely, very vaguely. I love your memes. What's it? Are you're considered a what is it? Physiolast? What is it?
Okay, so
I can never say it.
it was a joke. I took like scriptures and I just put Peasy in front of it. So if you have Ecclesiastes, it's P Ecclesiastes, and then you have Leviticus, it's P Ziticus. It's just stuff like that's all it was. It's about time. It's a new season, so I need to change it. But yeah, that's all I did with those. Yeah.
I like it, man. Did that you being honest with those memes get you a little bit hot and bothered all the way up and down?
Some of them. So I've been very fortunate enough to have people in my corner at this time that are usually calling me like, "Hey, that one's pushing it." You know what I mean? So when somebody I respect calls me and says, "Hey, man, you're my boy. I can't let you. I don't want nobody to come at you and be like, all right." You know what I mean? But like when I get critiqued by people who don't know how, I'm trying to watch how I say this.
Mm-hmm.
When I get critiqued by people who don't know how to use social media, it's annoying. It's annoying because there's certain flavors you got to put in the cake in order to make the cake sell, right? So my rule for any type of content is it has to be 3 things, and you can take this with you, right? The acronym is FRI, FRI, right? So any content you put out, it needs to be funny, it needs to be relatable, and it needs to be informative. If you hit those 3, then most of the time you're going to catch people's attention. I've had stuff that launched for 1 million. I think I hit 1 million like 3 times, right? Which is crazy because I haven't got a cent from Instagram. I can't figure out how to monetize my stuff, but it's not something I'm really into. I just think of the stuff. You don't understand, like. Am I cursing on here? We're not allowed to curse. We don't curse on here, right? We'll make sure.
You
Okay.
can do whatever you want, man. This is your show. I'm just talking to you.
All right. Well, don't tell me that. But anyway, like some of this stuff that I be making, I be taking a shit, and I just be here you go, launch. Like I don't really be thinking that much, and that's probably why people hit me up. But like I just be on the toilet, just that's funny, click, you know. So I think the Marine Corps has to do a better job of, or people that are higher up, they got to do a better job of trying to understand or do research and like, okay, what was the motive behind that, or what do you mean by that, or anything like that. And they got to be willing to back us because we're saving them money. This is free advertisement. When you see us presenting a check to a high school, you know what I mean? When you see us out here handing out turkeys on Thanksgiving or giving toys for tots, these are things that they could capitalize on that Marines are doing every day that don't get recognized or don't see. And it's not that we're asking for it, but for you to pick and choose what you want to attack. Hey, yo, look at the good stuff I did. Yo, look at the entire body of work before you come at me about something that you don't understand or just made you feel a certain way for whatever personal reason that you have, which we ain't gonna go in depth on that. For whatever
That's the
reason,
one, right? I say something and you're offended. Whoa, I'm offended that you're offended. Time out. Let's step back a little bit. Let's have a conversation before you jump the gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember doing a show about what was it? It was with my Uncle Pete Zuniga. Somebody mentioned women, or I think he mentioned women about a certain MOS, and that information got taken out. And then I got a nasty email, but like, hey, you need to take this down. Blah 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 blah. You're offending women. Blah, blah. I was like, I didn't even say anything though. What did I say? And then I had a couple girls, but hey, can you look this over before I take it down? Because I'm getting these little death threat emails before I publish. And they said, sure enough, man, there's nothing offended. They just took it out of context and they didn't really know what you were talking about. But again, civilians and service members alike, they both hear it. They all hear my podcast. They hear the podcast and they're like, okay, well, what is he talking about? If you don't know, you don't know. Just say you don't know and just give me a comment.
Or just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do is keep scrolling. Like you don't really have to sit there and keep looking like, oh, I'm gonna type this whole, because you wasted time. You like, it's too much. Like, so me, I'll tell you this, you know, you'll get trolls, right? That'll say stuff on Instagram or whatever. They'll just say something because they want some attention. Now, this is my thing. I'll argue back and forth with a troll in the comments. Do you know why?
Because he's a troll?
Nah, because it boosts the algorithm. When you go back and forth in your comments, somebody in the Instagram world is like, oh my God, something's going on over there. And then they start spreading it. So I sit there and go back and forth with a troll all day, right? But then when yes, Chico, but when, you know, somebody who's supposed to be on your side or somebody who's supposed to be supporting you is sitting there picking, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this. Well, let me ask you a question. What have you done? What have you done to help us? You want to know where the kids are at? They're on Instagram. You want to know where the kids are at? They're on Snapchat. I don't have a Snapchat. I don't do that. You want to know where the kids are at? They're on TikTok. So please tell me what you have done. We keep putting the same stuff out over and over and over again, and it's old. It's old. These kids don't care about that. Do you want to better yourself? No. I need a job. I need a steady paycheck. Woo! I want to drive a nice car. When a recruiter pulls up with a nice car, my boy Rios, he had a Corvette. He used to take that thing with him everywhere, like one of the new ones that look like a Transformer. Listen, how do I get that? Join the Marine Corps. That's all you got to do. That's what I did. You know what I mean? They want to see stuff. These kids are visual. They need to see that you have a personality. And that's one of the things that we try to do at my office. We try to show personality, that we're not robots. So it's really hard to do that when you have people restricting you and tying your hands the whole time. And it's like, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to just sit up straight, left hand, left knee, right hand, right knee? You should join the Marine Corps. This is a great branch. Fitness. No. They need to see you in the gym. They need to see you lifting weights. They need to see you. They need to feel the confidence when they get you in front of you. And we try to do it, but some just don't get it. You know what I mean? I had a quote the other day. It said, some of you, I ain't dropped it yet, so don't tell nobody. But it says, some of you aren't legendary. You've just been around for a long time. Like, literally. And I'm telling you, but it's the truth. Y'all not really that good. Y'all just safe where y'all at. Because if you really got a problem with the way things are going down here, then please, I welcome you. Come on down here and write a couple contracts. Come over here and drive a kid 30 minutes out, 30 minutes back, 45 minutes out, 45 minutes back, and then just for them to fail the test and see how you're going to feel at the end of the day. Now, guess what? Now you got to work this weekend because homeboy didn't want to learn how to read, something he's supposed to learn in the 10th grade. That's why my face is like that. And all those memes, that face, that's how I look every time somebody fails the ASVAB. You make me laugh. That's where that shit came from.
Oh my goodness, man! I'm glad that you got 9 months left.
Now you feel me now? And that's why I can't get 8412.
Oh boy, I thought about it. I have a couple recruiter friends. Even Lamont. I was talking to him and said, "God dang, a bunch of other ones." Yeah, you know what? I think I'd like to do recruiting, but you right now, you put the cherry on top. I ain't going nowhere. I'm fine right here behind my desk.
Are you from Washington? Where are you from?
Nah,
originally.
we're from Texas.
Okay, well, recruiting duty is a cheat code when you get ready to retire, if you're a gunny, right? Or a sergeant major, because then you can go wherever and be like, all right, we got 3 years here. Go ahead, settle down. We're gonna be here for the next 3 years, whatever. And that's kind of like what I'm thinking about. If I was to come back and do a second tour, then I would pick because everybody's gonna know, hopefully by then, what they're gonna get out of me. Hey, sit me somewhere, give me 3 months, and we're gonna have a party. We're gonna be great. But if it's really something that you're thinking about, you just gotta know where you're going, know some people there that's gonna take care of you, look out for you, and show you what you need to know. But recruiting duty is easy. It's not hard. It's not for certain people. It's not hard for me. But I know how committed I am into winning and to being successful and to actually making a change. And as corny as that shit sounds, that's really how I am. My delivery, my outward appearance, yeah, it is what it is. I can't change it. God made me this way. But I really do care. You know what I mean? I really am passionate about it. So it irks my nerves when people who aren't doing what I'm doing have something to say.
Yeah,
so
I gotta stop. It felt like you were choking me for a second when you were doing that.
you need to get checked, man. You need to get checked, man. There's something wrong with you, man.
It's hot in here, dog. You're going a little bit aggressive with me. I'm just trying to talk to you, dog.
All right, I'm gonna dial it back. I'm sorry. It's what you wanted, man. That's why you brought me here.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I am getting checked. My wife told me I need to get checked anyways, but that's what it is. Man, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. This session's gonna be late night with Joe. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying? Like
money.
It's just what it.
Hey, money.
No fun. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? A late night with Joe. And you got to give me the face so I can just put on that thumbnail. That's going to be, oh my God, gold.
I'll send it to you. I got you. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is freaking Joe. You know what I'm saying? Hey, where can they reach you out if they want to know more about you, your social media handles, blah, blah, blah?
I don't have a Facebook. I don't have a TikTok. I'm only on Instagram. Gunnery Sergeant Parham, GySgt Parhm _USMC. That's where I'm at. I respond to everything. So watch what you say because I'm gonna say something back, and that's it.
You didn't get me back on your beard comment.
I probably missed it, or I was probably I be driving sometimes, but
I think you were at the movies or something like that. You did a little skit on the movies.
Oh, yeah,
you had the guys. You were like this, and I'm like, this had a beard. I said, where's your shave shit?
So I have discoid lupus, right? So it's a skin disease. Where like if I cut my skin open, it's an autoimmune disease where you'll get a lot of scarring and stuff. Like it's beyond regular like razor bumps. So I actually have a indefinite no shave chin. Like every time I change my ID, I gotta pull it to my ID and make sure it's on there just in case somebody wants to ask. But the new order or whatever says that people aren't allowed to ask. So I could actually grow a full beard, but I don't like that look for recruiting duty. So I'll shave every 3 days because my facial hair grows slow, but it grows in thick. But I can actually rock a full beard. That's why a lot of my old videos, if you look back, you'll see like when I was in the fleet, like when I deploy, I grow my beard out. No, I look like Django when I grow it out like that. Yeah. It's bad.
That's just so, dog. Hey, man.
Yep.
Again, it's been an honor and a pleasure to chop it up with you. I hope we can do it again. Anytime you want to come on, just let me know. I'm all for it. If we want to professionally rant, let's do it. We got the platform to do it. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see you back in the fleet. Hopefully I can get you in 6 months into the fleet to see how your transition's been from streets to whatever that would be called. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It'll be too easy. I can't wait.
Hell yeah, we'll put that in the calendar now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Pit Talk, pulling pits and opinions with your host, Gunny G and Gunny Parm. Gunny Joe. I like that Parmesan.
Yeah, all the time.
This
13
where
years.
service members help service members, period. Follow, like, subscribe everywhere you get your podcast and on all social media platforms. Let us know how we're doing. Any criticism is good criticism. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. We out. And
Stand by, contact. Ceasefire. Stand by, contact. Ceasefire.
Pit Talk is a podcast featuring active service members who discuss their thoughts and opinions on various issues surrounding military life, current events, and history. The statements heard here are the opinions of its members and guests. These do not necessarily reflect the views of the Department of Defense and are not endorsed or sponsored in any way. Listener, viewer discretion advised.